As you may or may not know, Starfield is my favorite game of all time, so let's talk about where it is, exactly 1 year after launch. I dance among a symphony of bullets and pluck the chords of their supersonic work. Compose melodies to soothe my enemies. With crescendoing percussion I retaliate, my rifle chanting as it steals the life away. With my weapon as my brush, I paint men's fate, an artist of the kill. Death is my trade, and a cascade of blood descends upon me. A crimson mist, a tide of fury. Moors are vanquished, drowned in this deluge. We're driftwood in the storm, with no refuge. Factions have split, raised their fists. War's been raged, our throats are slit. Voiceless soldiers, we march on. Deeper into darkness, to retreat from dawn.
A new year dawns in Starfield.
In addition to inspiring me to write crappy songs, Starfield has seen a plethora of updates and support, with plenty more to come on the horizon. Some of these updates have been minor quality of life improvements, but some of them have brought 60 frames per second to consoles, as well as the awesome Rev 8. For those that don't know, the Rev 8 is a space dune buggy of sorts, allowing the player to traverse planets a little bit faster than they were before. Customization of the Rev 8 in the vanilla version of Starfield is limited to changing 3 different layers of colors. The Rev 8 comes equipped with a relatively powerful laser weapon. Based on information obtained from loading screens, it seems that the weapon consists of heavy weapon, laser, and explosive elements, where if you upgrade any of those 3 traits, or all 3 of them, it increases the power of the weapon. While it's a blast to take out evil space manatees, I find the weapon relatively lacking in power, especially against higher level enemies. Now, I have heard complaints, and I've noticed myself, that the Rev 8's base speed is not all that fast, but it does make traversal all the more fun. It comes fully equipped with a rocket boost engine as well as thrusters to keep you afloat in the air. And I found myself more often than not traveling to a remote, low-gravity planet and just boosting my ass around the whole thing. Now, I did notice that a lot of the planet's surfaces are littered with rocks and other various things, but the Rev 8 is a versatile vehicle, allowing you to boost up and travel, use it as a jump ship of sorts. I do find myself longing for those planets in the trailer with smoother surfaces and less rocks. Now, some of the smaller details that came with the Rev 8 absolutely blew me away, such as traversing different surfaces on the planets. If you're going through the deep snow, your tires bite down and you're able to turn on a dime, and it feels good. It feels like a Halo Warthog. However, if you're traveling over the ice, roadkill, as you can notice, you slide. And turning is a lot slower, it's a lot harder to control, and I thought that was an awesome detail that they added. For perhaps a better view, you can also observe from the third-person perspective as the tires slip over the slick surface of ice, and the Rev 8 sluggishly slides into turns. Oh, sorry buddy. You can also see when the tires bite down to the snow and the vehicle turns on a dime. I also noticed that when you're traversing planets with extremely low gravity, the Rev 8 actually moves slower over the surface, like it doesn't have enough weight behind it. However, once you get that boost going, you rocket off, and of course, you can jump a lot higher than you were before. The Rev 8 is a wonderful addition to Starfield and has further enriched my enjoyment of my favorite game of all time. I rather enjoy rocketing across the surface of a barren space rock, kicking up snow and space dust as I blast my way to the sunrise. As much as I enjoy it, I do wish the thrusters on the Rev 8 were a bit more powerful, so that I could jump higher and go further. Despite my 2 complaints of feeling underwhelmed by the blaster and the lack of power of the thrusters, I find it an absolute blast rolling up to my favorite POI and taking enemies out. This POI has been in the game since the beginning and is abundant throughout the Starfield universe. I believe it's called the Abandoned Weapons Factory, but I absolutely love going here, especially in low gravity. Here I am, practicing my sniper skills and taking out 5 dudes with 4 shots. This point of interest is one of the largest POIs available in Starfield. It is intricately detailed and expansive, and the open layout that occurs exclusively above the surface makes it the perfect playground to fly around in a jetpack and shoot the hydrogen tanks that are abundantly available, taking out your enemies in the process, especially when this POI occurs on a low-gravity moon or planet. The abandoned weapons station has an enormous landing area which has ample room for any ship that you may have in your inventory. You can see the layout of the POI pretty clearly right there, and if you go toward the left-hand side as the ship lands, you're going to find two buildings, one larger than the other one, and they kind of resemble garages or assembly areas. Now say you want to approach from a different angle, you're out in your Rev 8 and you want to come in and maybe do a clandestine mission and try to sneak in. Both these buildings have those locking pin doors where you can park your Rev 8, hop out, grab your laser cutter, and cut through the pins in order to knock the door down. Be forewarned that if you use the mining laser to cut these pins, it's going to make a lot of noise, and the noise is going to attract the attention of any enemies in the area. If you go in this building, there's not any enemies in the building itself, but what it does have is a disadvantage for you as someone sneaking because of the sight lines that are available when you sneak in. Conversely, if you go to the near side of the larger building, you're going to find another door that you can cut in with your laser that has two enemies inside the building. However, there comes an advantage with the placement of the vent that you sneak into. It's going to occur below the surface of ground level, just slightly, kind of like a maintenance bay in a garage, which allows you to approach the enemies unseen and take them out. If you are successful in silently snuffing these two out, it makes the clandestine approach all the more easier. Of course, the stealth approach might not be everyone's forte, or they might not find it quite as fun as going in guns blazing, trying to set the world on fire as you take these guys' lunch money. Oh, look at that bounce, baby! Keep the change, you filthy animal. As you can see, this bay has a large singular opening as opposed to the other side, where you can see the next area of the POI, which consists of a platform and an incomplete ship that they're building. Now, one of the fun things about approaching this platform is that occasionally there'll be a couple guys on it, and you got those hydrogen tanks right there, and if you can catch them by surprise, you're able to shoot the hydrogen tanks and launch them, burning, across the rest of the POI. This is a little bit more difficult as you have to get really high up or approach from a different angle in order to catch them by surprise and not have them shoot at you the entire time. But it is a hell of a lot of fun. And while the unfinished ship in the center is unable to fly, these guys certainly are. And finally, on the right-hand side of the POI, as the ship lands, you're going to find yourself yet another hydrogen tank that is perfect for those slow-motion action shots where you completely obliterate one or two of your enemies. Next to that area, you're going to find a large 3-story building. Kind of resembles like mission control or something where you would launch a shuttle from, but you're going to find one of these tougher enemies up here. He's going to have a micro gun, but he's also going to have higher level loot, anywhere from a rare item to a legendary item that you can pick up off his corpse. Then he's going to have a couple lackeys or minions beneath you that you can either run down the stairs and take out, or take out from the balcony above. There's also a robot that occasionally gets stuck underneath the ramp in front of the building. And thus completes the breakdown of my favorite reoccurring non-mission based POI. It's large, it's open, it's got plenty of enemies, and it's just a great playground for destruction. I did do a run through as fast as I could, which I will post a separate video of with bloopers and everything, where I was able to complete it in under 2.5 minutes. This next section was inspired by all my run-throughs of this POI and consists of a short compilation of toilet humor or inappropriate actions or glitches that occurred while playing Starfield, like this guy pooping out a microgun in excitement. I don't know about you, but there ain't nothing micro about that microgun. Oh, what a load. That guy had a hell of a day. Speaking of bad days, check out this dude and where those bullet placement is. Looks like he's pooping out a whole bunch of blood. It even changes colors. But man, that looks painful. Speaking of inappropriate, seems like the Rev 8 might have a mind of its own. Whoa! Down, boy! Stop that! And this final clip is kind of wild because I don't know if it's a visual glitch or just something funky that happened, but I chopped this dude in the back. He's got the butt flare going on, and look, there's like a gas pattern, dude. I feel like the NPCs in Starfield be ripping ass, bro. What the hell? Anyway, I apologize for that random sidebar. I just thought those clips were pretty funny. So I've been playing Starfield this entire year. I actually started in early access, and this video is going to be a little bit late because I ended up playing more instead of finishing the video. So I apologize for that, but I have been exploring the planets more, been trying to get clips and stuff. But one of the things I noticed is that I found wildlife that I had never seen before. This is a fox bat found on Schrodinger, very common. I've definitely seen this guy before, but I just like these slow motion clips. But this next one I don't recall seeing before. It's called a herding scoopback geophage. Kind of reminds me of those long-necked cloning aliens from Star Wars, especially when it rears up like this. But I just thought it was crazy that it's my third New Game Plus and some of these creatures I don't recognize. Like this Tentabeard thing, Rock Tentabeard, that's what it is. But I became obsessed with this. I love their design. It kind of reminds me of Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, kind of blended with the trolls from Willow. You know when he throws that stone chestnut thing and it turns him into stone and these giant nasty dragon looking creatures come out. This kind of reminds me of that. Looks a little bit cooler, and I love that spiral eye. I don't know if like some part of me feels like they added these in later, but I just thought it was cool. Speaking of adding in new stuff later, there are plenty of POIs that I haven't ever seen before that I'm finding. Like this abandoned military base that was full of all these larvae. Just kind of creepy coming in here, finding like 100 larvae, 150 larvae or something like that in here. Ended up pulling my hornet nest out once I got to the right gun and just taking them out in large groups. But they become hostile once you start to attack them. It kind of thinks like, hey, maybe these guys took over. It kind of helps to illustrate how great at environmental storytelling Starfield is. You'll come across these abandoned stations, and it's up to you to pick up the pieces to find out what happened. Another POI that I could swear I've never encountered before is the secluded encampment. And it's just this little encampment tucked away in the mountains, but I don't know if it's just super rare and I never came across before, or if they added POIs, but it's just cool discovering new places that you haven't ever seen before, especially when you're like me, you've been playing 300 hours and you thought you've seen it all. Now, I'm not going to say I've been super productive for these 300 hours. I mean, I definitely spend plenty of time messing around, doing stupid stuff, playing with physics, trying to get perfect runs on POIs, trying to get perfect shots. In this case, I found that you can pick up the bodies on the low gravity planets and jump as high as you can using your jump pack or boost pack to go even higher and drop them so that they fall down back to the Earth or the planet that you're on as pretty slowly, and that's pretty fun to watch. It actually inspired the next section, which is the Starfield Darwin Olympics, which we'll see all the different factions competing in order to get the best scores and win the ultimate prize. The rules are flexible, the games are stupid, and the prize is worthless. But let's see, between our three competing factions, who can die the best. The first event we have up is the rocket-assisted high jump. Backed by popular demand, this event for individual participants has them competing to see who can get the highest or the furthest with a rocket-assisted jump. Kicking things off, we have Agent 37 from the Ecliptic. Now, the Ecliptic were our favorites last year and they end up winning the whole contest. Let's see if they can pull it off again. Agent 37 kicks the games off with a powerful performance, soaring to astronomical heights and getting an early lead for his team, whose motto is, "We eclipse everyone else." Look at that perfect form as he descends like a ragdoll. Oh my god, look at that bounce. He bounces almost as high as my kid's moonball. That's gonna get him extra points. Next up, we have Agent 48 of the Ecliptic. He's starting off with a horizontal takeoff. I don't know if this will work. It's quite a risky move. Let's see if it pays off for him. Oh, he's going up. He's going up. Can he do it? Oh, he's going crazy. And he crashes back down to the earth in a complete failure. Madam Freebooter of the Crimson Fleet says, "Step aside, gentlemen, I got this," and she rockets off. Oh no, she is heading the complete wrong way. Let's see if she can pull out of this one. Here she goes, right by the camera, giving a beautiful smile and a wave as she starts to make her way up, and oh no, she crashes into the stairwell and slams hard into the earth. Jimbo Ramsey from the Spacers is up next, and oh my gosh, did anybody tell the Spacers this competition should be held outside? Let's see if they get some style points. He's up, oh, and he crashes into a crane. Jimbo's brother Titan from the Spacers is up next, and oh my gosh, I hope there's a vent. And no, there's not. He crashes hard into the ceiling, but we got some good shockwave coming off, but a total verticality of 3 feet is gonna get him 0 points and gonna kick the Spacers out of the competition. Alright, we're heading back over to the Ecliptic with Agent 63, and he starts taking off, rocketing. There's that rocket-assisted boost in a perfect pattern. Oh, and some blood splatter. That's gonna add some art points to that. And here he goes. He's rocking it up. Let's see how high he can take it. 63 has become just another star on the horizon as he makes his ascent and starts to slowly descend back toward the moon. Agent 63's powerful performance has secured a top spot for the Ecliptic. Let's see if the other factions can even compete. We already know the Spacers are out, but let's head over to Sailor Schmitty of the Crimson Fleet. Let's see how he does. He starts to take off, rocketing up. Let's see if, oh, and he crashes into the air. But let's give him some points for that graceful fall. Things aren't looking pretty for the Crimson Fleet. Ecliptic back. This is Agent 92. Let's see how he does. He starts his ascent. He's going strong. Look at that powerful performance. Great explosion. He rockets up through the explosion. Oh, in that terrible form. He's flipping out of control. No aerodynamics whatsoever. And there he goes. He's up and he's coming back down already. Solid entry, but not good enough. Chef Truebill, renowned cook for the Crimson Fleet, is up next. Let's see if he can cook. And he goes up. He's up. He's going. Got some good style points, but that's not quite high enough. He could spend more time swapping the deck and less time cooking behind the stove. And here he goes, a slow descent, a nice solid bounce. And let's head back over to the Ecliptic, the clear leaders of this competition, with Agent 24 as he starts his ascent, rocketing up, and there's that rocket blast, beautiful blast, and he comes out in a rock star pose. Salute to you, good sir, as you rocket into the heavens. What a solid entry by the Ecliptic. The Crimson Fleet are gonna have a troubled time catching up with the Ecliptic. Let's see if they can pull it off, but first, we're going back to the Ecliptic with Agent 29. Here he is. He's got ignition. Let's see if he can do it. He's rocketing up. He's starting his curvature. Oh my goodness, I hope he doesn't hit that pole. Beautiful rocket boost, and he skirts the pole. He's going around it. He's up. He's up. He's out of there. What a beautiful ascent. And now he's heading back down. Solid entry again from the Ecliptic. The Crimson Fleet are gonna have a hard time with this, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. First Mate Jeffrey is up. He's got ignition. He's got his rocket blast. Oh, and a beautiful spotlight by the sun. Let's see, this angle doesn't look promising. It looks like he could go crashing back to the earth, but no, he's up. He's up and he's out of there! The Crimson Fleet have re-entered the competition. Let's see if they can bring it home. Agent 82 says, not quite so fast, Crimson Fleet. We've got more points and I'll show you a performance to remember. No slow motion needed for me. There he goes, he rockets up and he's out of there as well. What? The Ecliptic has shut down the Crimson Fleet. They said, we own this competition. We're gonna eclipse that performance. Ladies and gentlemen, we only have one more contestant left for this event. We have the captain of the Crimson Fleet, but I don't know if there's anything he can do to eclipse the Ecliptic. We have ignition. Let's just see how this pays off for him. We've got rocket blast. Oh, and a great pose and a great arc as he's going up. I don't know if there's anything he can do to make up points. The Ecliptic have absolutely dominated the competition. But look at this arc. This is probably one of the best arcs I've ever seen. As the captain goes higher and higher, it could be the highest we have seen yet. And oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, he has exited the stratosphere. In a surprising turn of events, the Crimson Fleet have won the event. The next event is another individual event called the Iron Flare Award that tests the fortitude of our contestants and their ability to withstand brutal punishment. In this event, we take into account the volume of blood splatter, as well as the damage taken from environmental hazards. So stay tuned, because the only thing more brutal than this is the use of a voodoo doll. First up, we have the house you love to hate, House Faroon, as this contestant takes a direct shotgun blast to the face. Look at that volume of blood as he kicks his head back in absolute brutality. 2 more shots fired, and this contestant is down for the count. Well, we got the Ecliptic coming in here saying, let's see if we can turn up the violence. We're shooting lasers. Then we start pumping 60 rounds into this guy's head and chest. And he goes backflipping, flying straight into the wall. Boom with a thud, brutality at its finest. Looks like the Spacers want to join in on the action. What do we have here? Oh, we have ourselves a banana split with a cherry on top. That looks super painful. Oh, 2 in a row with Spacers back saying, we're gonna explode in green goo. No slow motion needed. Now here comes the Ecliptic saying it's our turn for fun. And a giant fireball as the Ecliptic falls back. That's gonna get him some extra points. Oh, it's some bullets to the face. He is set on fire. He is falling from explosions. And now he's a burning corpse. The Spacers are gonna respond with their own pyrotechnics and a laser light show to boot. Bam! Lasers in the chest. And he's down. Knock, knock. The Spacers are here again with another ragdoll brutality. But ladies and gentlemen, we can't forget about the Crimson Fleet, the winners of the last event, and they said, hey, we brought our own hydrogen tank. Check out this fiery explosion. That's gonna get up some extra points as the Crimson Fleet soldier is set ablaze. What is he doing now? Slow motion descent. Oh, and the low gravity has bumped him up over and he is smote on the mountainside. What a show. But the confident Ecliptic say, no, we got this in the bag. What a cute little hydrogen tank you had, but check this out. I'm gonna get shot in the back as a grenade explodes behind me, setting me on fire. But no, a giant hydrogen tank has vaporized me, and the Ecliptic take home the trophy in this round.
The next award that we have is going to be the Individual Dramatic Death Award, given to those who try the most to be the worst. And up first we have the Ecliptic, as he is chopped in the back with a hatchet as he's holding his clipboard. Down goes the clipboard and is chopped in the front a few times as he backflips into oblivion. This is some good drama here, and he is smote on the mountainside.
Well, the hoity-toity Ecliptic might be classically trained, but our Spacers grew up in the trailer park, and they say we know drama, as this guy's punched, and he does a slow motion flip. Low gravity, slow motion, makes a great combination as he goes flying down the mountain. What a show.
What a great show indeed. Now let's move over to the Crimson Fleet, where this guy says I have a point to make, and I'm gonna make that point as I point my pointer finger, and I go down. What a prominent point he made.
Oh, that pirate made a good point indeed, but let's check out this Ecliptic. He gets shot in the side of the head, and what does he do? He grabs his ear. Well, of course that hurt. You just got shot with 15 bullets at once, and this dramatic man goes flying into the railing.
And the Crimson Fleet, always trying to sell a foul to the referee, jumps up as he's chopped in the back. Look at that dramatic death. And sometimes being classically trained pays off. Check out this Ecliptic soldier as he's punched in the face, and he goes backwards like a drama queen, flying off a balcony, says, look at me, and he does a backflip and dies.
That's pretty impressive, but the Spacers come back saying you can't save the last dance. Look at that beautiful lighting as he reloads his gun, and he gets punched in the face. Slow motion flipping legs spread apart as he goes soaring through the air and over a mountain. It looks like the Spacers are gonna walk or fly away with a victory.
The final event we have is a team event called Synchronized Flopping, and it sees which contestants can die with the most coordination together. It looks like we have the Ecliptic up first, with the nearest individual taking a few rounds to the face. It doesn't look like their movement is so coordinated, but look at those beautiful explosions, as they are perfectly in unison and look almost identical.
The Crimson Fleet themselves have never been strong in this competition. As you can see by this display, one takes a chop to the face. What a beautiful turn as he gives cue to the other one. The other one doesn't really react quite the way he should, but look at that beautiful dive as they both go down.
They certainly could use a little more coordination like these here, Ecliptic. Look at them as they're perfectly lined up, but take some bullets. And there they go. They're taking them, and they're making some perfectly coordinated moves. Unfortunately, they didn't check the surrounding area and get stuck up on objects and snuffed from victory.
The Ecliptic are back at it again. This time they said we're gonna take advantage of the low gravity setting and we're gonna do a beautiful dance of death on our own. One takes an explosion to the back, the other gets shot in the face, and there they go. Not the most coordinated, but look at that explosion as they go flying away. Great explosion, but we need more coordination.
Next up, we have the Spacers, who have always placed last in this event, but let's see if they can pull it off today. Here we go, we got a great display of pyrotechnics, but unfortunately the cloud of smog has obscured his partner, and he's lost significant amount of points.
And now it's time for the Crimson Fleet to roar. We can work together as a team as they come in hot with a beautiful slow motion explosion. Look at that awesome coordination as they get flying back, set on fire at the same time, blood splatters to the face. Great coordination, not a great landing, but awesome points indeed. But the Ecliptic are here. They say no, we're gonna do the same thing with a different explosion. One falls back, one falls forward, leg goes kicking in the air. Look at that beautiful dance of death. It takes two to tango.
What a wonderful show indeed. But the Spacers have returned to try to make up some points from last round. We've got a beautiful display of pyrotechnics as sparks go flying and blood splatters everywhere. What beautiful coordination, but their movement, however, is suffering. The Spacers could be in trouble, as they need a lot of points in order to stay in contention for the final prize. Let's see if they can pull it off here. We got some shots to the back, a weird movement may cost them some points, but look at this absolutely beautiful display of death, as one kicks up, one flies backward, blood and sparks flying everywhere in a beautiful dance.
Knock knock, the Ecliptic are back. They said we're gonna win this whole thing. One takes a shot to the face, one takes a shot to the foot. Look at that beautiful fountain of blood spewing upward as they make movements in near perfect unison, dancing their hearts away.
But it looks like the Crimson Fleet isn't finished here, and they're going to use their prominence in pyrotechnics to try to win. Here we go, the Hydra to take rockets to the air, launching the enemies up as they get splattered in the face with bullets, blood flying everywhere, caught on fire. Let's see if the movement is not so great, but they are falling together in a flaming heap. What a great show.
But it looks like the Crimson Fleet's gonna try to invade the judges' table with a full-blown WWE entrance. They look like a boy band coming off a ramp. One gets shot in the face, the other gets shot in the face. The first one's moving beautifully, but the second one stops short of the ramp. Two more behind them get snuffed out, and the Crimson Fleet are super embarrassed. What are they doing? They're packing up for the world tour. They're heading back out, closing up the ramp. They're heading out. They're embarrassed, and bye-bye to the Crimson Fleet. Better luck next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have two teams remaining. The Ecliptic, clearly the favorite to win due to their discipline, are up first. An explosion goes off, and they're launched backwards in beautiful coordination. Let's see if they can pull it off. Oh, the shotgun blast to the face. Oh, some pyrotechnics to add to it, obscuring the view. But that first movement was brilliant. Let's see if it was enough to carry them through the competition. What a beautiful show.
The Ecliptic are absolute powerhouses, and they said they're gonna win this whole thing by taking some grenades to the face. And there we go, the explosion goes off. One goes up, one goes backward as a fireball erupts between them. What an awesome display. But the Spacers say we're not finished yet. We'll show you how it's done as a powerful blast goes off in slow motion. One shot to kill them all as they both fly backwards, opposite directions, making the same movement. And the Spacers have won the competition.
Congratulations to the Spacers for winning the grand prize of starring in the music video Welcome to Death, featuring Starfield's very own, the Valentine.
I was a rover and a rambler. I lived my life in sin. There was no number high enough to count the troubles I was in. I filled neon nights with women. By day I rest my skin. There was no gamble bad enough to think I would never win. But I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I wanna go home and go back home again. Once was a lady red clay on her feet. Fly, my mateys, oh fly. Her kisses were tender and ever so sweet. Fly, my mateys, fly. But father and brothers all threaten to beat. Fly, my mateys, oh fly. I miss my dear darling in New Atlantis, as I wander the blackness of the deep abyss. My ship is in tatters, all dented and worn, but I trust my old engine to get back by morn. Way ho, out in the blackness. Way ho, out in the void. Way ho, get me back to my true love, as quick as an old asteroid.
Well, there you have it. There's my tribute to my favorite game of all time. Still going strong, about 300 hours deep. Don't get to play every day, but when I do, I get absorbed in it. This video was supposed to come out on the 6th, which was the anniversary of the official release, but I kind of got caught up playing the game, taking care of the kids, working like 60 hours a week. So it's a little bit late, forgive me, but I'll be here September 30th for Shattered Space. Definitely looking forward to that. Just watched the deep dive video. Looks amazing. Definitely hope everybody enjoys it as much as I do. Well, if you're still here, thanks for taking the time to stick around and watch the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good day.